Welcome back to CelJaded playing Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. My name is Alex. This is Tuesday, week 2 of January 2006, playing the Shifting Sands mod. And we are on the second episode of SmackDown overall, with the first segment here being Shane McMahon announcing a tag title rematch and a Batista interview for later tonight. So Shane McMahon, running SmackDown currently, liked what he saw in the tag title match last week, that featuring Eminem, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. So we'll be running that match back one more time in the feature slot here on SmackDown to get our tag division some shine. And then, of course, World Heavyweight Champion Batista, need the spotlight firmly on him as well. And got an interview segment ready for him at the end of the broadcast. So some good stuff here from Shane, getting our show started in the right way as we move on to our next segment. And then we have got Randy Orton defeating Road Warrior Animal by pinfall with an RKO. So a bit of an odd pairing here between these two. Probably not the kind of match you would expect to see in real life, but in video game terms, Road Warrior Animal is actually a pretty complete package of a wrestler on this save. Good stats, popular with the crowd, and a good fit here for someone who can get one of our younger stars like Randy Orton some strong wins and kind of transfer some of that popularity over to him. So Road Warrior Animal offers game on this occasion, but as you can see, the performance definitely quite comparable with where Randy Orton is here. So yeah, unexpectedly quite a strong worker on this save is Animal. So we'll be looking to use him in more positions like this in the future to help get some of our younger members of the roster where they need to be. So some good stuff from him as we start this episode of SmackDown. And then after the match, it is Orton getting on the mic where he's taking an opportunity to criticise Batista once again. So the last time Randy was handed a live mic, he was very quick to throw shade on his old running buddy Batista, and now given the same opportunity, he has done exactly that again. So Orton definitely going after Dave with his promos here. Where it will lead to, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Then we've got Chavo, who is seen backstage with William Regal, following up their beef from last time with kind of Guerrero getting a bit angry at Regal's opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship that he fought for against Batista in a losing effort. But Regal's clearly taken no crap from Chavo on this occasion because their confrontation is quickly leading to a pull-apart brawl. So these two clearly not on the same page backstage. And once again, we'll have to see where this leads between heel William Regal and babyface Chavo. Then it is Fit Finlay, Paul Burchill, and his new manager Dawn Marie taunting Rey Mysterio backstage when Tatanka makes the save. So these men, of course, part of our United States Championship tournament storyline. So that tournament has yet to begin, but these segments are a way of introducing who the players will inevitably be. Dawn Marie is someone that we've brought back, not just to bolster our kind of weak or women's division, but also as someone that can hopefully act as an effective manager to some of our mid-card talent. Again, remembering this is a video game, the stats on some of these wrestlers, like Paul Burchill, for example, are exceptionally high than what you might expect. So there's definitely an opportunity there to make something of guys like him. And I'm just putting him with Dawn Marie here to see if we can generate some momentum for him in some of the storylines. So we'll see what happens with that. But more importantly, we've got a championship tournament to kind of build to as well. So that is coming up right now with a tag match between these parties involved. And there you have it. So it's Rey Mysterio and Tatanka defeating Finlay and Paul Burchill in a short match when Finlay gets nailed with the 619. So, Finlay, not a great performance from him on this night, unfortunately. And it seems Burchill was off his game on this occasion as well. But overall, a pretty decent match. And I think that this one was this is just a regular match between these workers to forward that storyline forward. But overall, no, not a bad effort, and short enough as well, so to not be too offensive. And then after after that match, we continue here with the Chavo Guerrero story from earlier, and it's Chavo storming into Shane's office, and he is demanding a match with William Regal tonight. So Shane McMahon actually granting his request and saying, yep, you can have your match. But Shane is actually on his way to the ring because he's got another announcement that he is going to make. And here he is. So Shane McMahon hypes the rest of the show and kind of recapping what we've seen so far, whilst also revealing The Undertaker will be returning next week. So there you have it. So Undertaker will be back in action next week. We've got a quick gimmick freshen up for him as well, just to make sure that we're not suffering from any penalties like we were doing on this occasion. And yeah, just an opportunity there to kind of announce what will be coming next week. And it is The Undertaker who will be back. So good stuff here. And then we've got another segment, and this time it's the Mexicals who debut Shelly Martinez as their new member. And Shelly is quick to say that a revolution is coming to SmackDown. So we've got the Mexicals here. We've kind of dropped their gimmick from real life, their kind of babyface patriot gimmick. We're keeping them as babyfaces, but we're kind of angling them more as kind of rebel characters here, kind of rebelling against authority. And I thought Shelly, who was in developmental OVW, I think at the time, made a great fit for this group. So we can use her as kind of a mouthpiece for future interviews and segments in the future here involving this team. And while she may not be by stats the best suited to the babyface role, the fact that she's an Hispanic wrestler like the Mexicals themselves, it just felt like a nice fit. So we'll see what we can do with these members here of the Mexicals. Again, we're gonna have to sacrifice a few segment ratings to achieve that. The popularity levels, especially for Shelly, who is a completely fresh face here, needs time in front of the audience and on the mic to kind of develop those skills and increase that popularity. But yeah, I got high hopes for this one as kind of a tag team act that we might be able to heat up for future storylines. But before that segment can end, we've got a quick bonus here with Shane McMahon now being shown backstage with Palmer Cannon, a fellow authority figure, and they're discussing the Mexicals situation that we've just seen. So just a very brief segment here. Shane not liking what he's seeing here with these rebellious workers claiming that a revolution is coming. So what will happen between those two parties? Well, again, we'll just have to wait and see, but there you have it. And then, good match here. So it's William Regal defeating Chavo Guerrero Jr. and that follow-up from the earlier angle. And it is William Regal getting the win over Chavo Guerrero. So William Regal, of course, kind of changed gimmicks a little bit. So we've kind of gone back to roots with him, establishing him more as a kind of a tough guy fighter gimmick instead of the high society one that he's well known for. And yeah, seeing what Regal can do when he has to act a little bit more seriously. So we had a storytelling match booked here, and it seems like we've got some good bonuses as well for the psychology, etc. involved. But yeah, definitely what we wanted to see here. Good match between these two, and gets Regal back on track after his loss to Batista, and kind of move his heel character forward a little bit more with some fresh segments. And with that in mind, it is Regal after the match kicking Chavo in the head after the bell and leaving him laying. So Regal here clearly not backing down from this heel turn one bit. Just goes to attack Chavo after the bell. But before he can get much further with that, it's Matt Hardy here making the save. So Regal has to retreat when Matt Hardy hits the ring to check on Chavo. And Regal definitely not happy about Matt Hardy sticking his nose in to Regal's business. Fair is fair. Like, Regal has wrestled a 15-minute match there. He's not getting involved any further, so he's going to back away and live to fight another day. So that is William Regal, Chavo, and Matt Hardy here, all in the mix. So we'll just have to see how that develops. But good stuff so far. And then a video recap of last week's WWE Tag Team Championship match that we talked about at the top of the show. This is the rematch then between Johnny Nitro, Joey Mercury, the current champions, defending their titles one more time against Paul London and Brian Kendrick here in the main event match slot. Anyway, so yeah, that rematch is coming up next, and here it is. Okay, and a good match as well. So another good match from these two, which is what we wanted to see. So it is Eminem defeating the Hooligans once again when it's Jerry Mercury pinning Paul London with the double team move, the snapshot. But during the match, it is Vicky Guerrero running in and attacking London. So Vicky Guerrero getting involved here in with a heel character for her as well. So heel Vicky Guerrero, of course, coming along much earlier in the save than it did in real life. But we'll get to that in just a second. But for now, the match itself looked like it went down very well. So some good work here from these guys in the main event match on SmackDown. And then after the match, it is Eminem who raised Melina on their shoulders, with Vicky applauding all three of them. So Vicky Guerrero, as we just said, we've turned heel a bit ahead of schedule, but we can certainly use someone with her abilities in some of these storylines in much the same way that we were using Shane and so on earlier. So someone that we can use in the women's division again to kind of generate some heat for storylines going forward. So before this segment can end, though, we've got one more bonus here. So this is it. It's a company of Japanese women wrestlers led by Akira Hokuto who are debuting, and they chase Melina and Vicky away. So quite the unexpected twist. Akira Hokuto, Ayako Hamada, Meiko Satomura, Michiko Omukai, and there you have it. A quartet of brand new Japanese women wrestlers currently unemployed, were previously unemployed on this save, and we've brought them in here to really reignite our women's division. So I was originally thinking of keeping the women's division secluded to Raw as much as it was in real life, just to keep things simple, but then I thought, you know what, there'd be more interesting challenge to kind of develop things from two angles in much the same way as we're doing with the men. So this is it, where when the talent is lacking on home turf, you look further afield, don't you? So Akira Hokuto, of course, a legend in her own right, leading this quartet of very capable women wrestlers. Again, we're going to have to sacrifice a few segment ratings to do it. Unfortunately, TEW 2020, as far as I can tell, doesn't seem to give you any bonuses for debuting wrestlers like you would normally expect in real life. Maybe giving them a little bit of a boost because it's a big surprise to see them for the first time, and I'm not sure how much of the popularity they bring with them from other locations, despite being kind of legends in Japan, of course. We've still got very low kind of popularity ratings to contend with on this side of the pond, anyway, in this save. So, but anyway, it was definitely worth an experiment here to see what we can do to really re-energize kind of the women's division, and this is it. It's a kind of a real kind of wild idea to kind of jumpstart things. So there you have it, quartet of new wrestlers in the women's division who are already acting as a thorn in Vicky and Melina's side, and where that goes to next, we'll have to tune into the next episode to find that out. But we're not done yet, because it is Batista, the World Heavyweight Champion, talking about his successful title defense. So some good, solid promo time here for our World Champion Batista, and looks like he's taken to the challenge quite well. And so he's being quizzed by the interviewer there, Josh, about all the things that he's going to be doing as the weeks progress. And then they come to the topic of Randy Orton, who we know at the top of the show had some very strong words for Batista. But before Batista can answer that impending question on old Randall, it is Mark Henry who's interrupting the segment and declares himself the strongest there is, or words to that effect anyway. And it is Mark daring Batista to step up to him. So eye to eye here with Batista is Mark Henry, who's inserted himself into the title picture, it would seem here, and Batista kind of listening to Mark Henry's tirade here as he's kind of barged into this interview time. But we're not done yet, because before Mark Henry can finish his thought, look who it is. It's Bobby Lashley, young Bobby Lashley stepping up to Mark Henry's face, and it's now a stare down between Mark Henry and Bobby Lashley, with Batista on the other side, title in hand, with a big smile on his face, and he says that, yep, he definitely likes what he's seeing here before taking his leave. So there you have it, Mark Henry and Bobby Lashley now eye to eye. Batista loving the thrill of the competition that he's seeing before him. And where's it all going to go? We'll just have to hang on till next episode of SmackDown to find out. But there you have it. That's our main event interview segment, all wrapped up to finish the show, and an overall rating of 70, so not too bad. So, where does that leave us overall? We've got some pretty decent segments overall. Definitely some weaker ones that need to be kind of developed on. But as the popularity of our workers improves and they get more time on the camera and in the ring, I'm sure we'll be able to get these ratings up even higher. But overall, a very positive number for this episode of SmackDown. And there you have it. So that is SmackDown for Tuesday, week 2 of January 2006. And then when we come back, it should be the next episode of Monday Night Raw and this save. So that was CelJaded playing TEW 2020 for week 2 of January 2006. Thanks for watching. And as always, do not bother sharing, subscribing, liking this video or interacting in any way. You don't need to. Just seriously have a good day. I'll see you next time.